Alright guys, another update is here. It is your average Tuesday, so we have a few things to discuss about this weekly reset. We have obviously you see on the screen, the Super Boo Zenkai. We also have the unique equipment coming for the Evolution Blue Vegeta and Kaioken, or as they're called, Evoken. We also have some new events, but we don't have another co-op. Tournament of Power isn't resetting, PvP isn't resetting, none of those. Ultra Space Time Rush isn't resetting, so we'll go ahead and check out data mines right after we see all the new equipment and whatnot. With this guy is really old. Yeah, there's not much else. We don't need to really look at their kit to see what's changed, because I'm assuming they're going to be doing a complete revamp. Now, the one thing I'm interested in this character in is if they actually did end up changing this guy's unique or his Z ability, because pre-Zenkai, this is his this is his Z ability. It's just regen, blast attack, and defense 28%. And as we saw with the red Gotenks Zenkai, they actually did give him an additional tag with Majin Buu Saga, and I think they actually buffed his stats as well. So I'm curious to see if they actually do end up changing it. And another thing to note, if his Zenkai ability, if it's going to be either regen or Majin Buu Saga. I am assuming it's going to be Majin Buu Saga, because I think the team that they are trying to make you run with this guy's Zenkai, even if his kit itself isn't good, is going to be... Let me find it. I made it already. This. So, making a regen core with Super Vegeta on bench to make a full Majin Buu Saga team is probably what they're trying to get you to run. And if that's the case, if his Z ability or his Zenkai ability actually is Buu Saga, then this is going to be an insane team to run. But yeah, let's go ahead and check out his stats. Remember, we have to take away 13,000 to arts boosting. For arts boosting. Oh wow, okay. Okay, that's pretty good. He's, okay, 284 strike attack, 287 blast attack, and then, what is that, like 183, 179 strike and blast defense? That's pretty good stats. Holds a normal strike and blast card. He is on three main tags: Buu Saga, Regen, and Powerful Opponent. Let's go ahead and see. He does not have blast armor. He has a normal strike and blast arts. Assault Rain. This is an AoE blue card, kind of like a Revival Frieza, the blue Revival Frieza. Who else has this? The green Zenkai Fat Buu has this. That's all I can think of off the top. I know there's quite a few of these older characters that have this, but we haven't really seen one of those in a while. So I'm kind of curious to see, you know, if you can make plays off that. I'm sure you can, because the regen team or the powerful opponent team has a lot of different ways to draw blue cards and green cards. Yeah. What does it do? Massive damage, pierce, on hit, obscure enemy hand, inflict all enemies with heavy bleeding, and key recovery down to enemies for 30% for 15 counts. That's one hell of an annoying... That is an annoying blue card, okay. By Xiao, this is a... What is... would I consider this a projectile? I don't think it's projectile. It's like a first form, the LF first form Frieza's green card, where it's like a long range stun green card. On activation, key plus 50, cancel enemy buff effects, draw one hit, inflict enemy with immobilize, destroy enemy entire enemy hand, and enemy damage received plus 30%. That's okay, yeah. That's pretty strong. One thing to keep in mind is that the Ultra Buu, the most recent one, Buuhan, he's actually immune to immobilize and heavily immobilize effects, so this doesn't work. I believe this counts as... Would this be an abnormal condition? I think so. I'm not entirely sure, but if that's the case, then you just gotta keep in mind who has abnormal condition, immunity, and cancellation. But other than that, this is a really strong, 50 keys, pretty good. And then blue card, or ultimate, sorry. Massive damage on impact, and on hit, enemy key minus 100, seals rush for 10 counts, seal enemy card slot for 10 counts. Wow, okay. That's really good. One thing to keep in mind, this is a melee blue, but it doesn't have blast armor. And it doesn't seal endurance, or cancel endurance. But other than that, that is a really annoying effect. Especially considering how right now we have a lot of these teams that have, well, this is true for most metas, but this meta has so much sustain that you kind of need to just pop a rush as soon as you get one just to deal with one of like 4-second lives. We just take a look at the main team right now. I think I'm like rank 50 in the world right now in PvP, and the main team that I'm seeing is Super Vegito on Sun Family with Namek Goku and Revival Gohan. And with that team, you have to go through KO Guard, you have to go through Gohan's Revive, you have to go through Super Vegito's Endurance. It's such a bore, and most games are going to timer. So sealing the rush is actually kind of annoying. Main ability, let's see. Draw Ultimate Arts next. Health 30%, Ki 50, cancel attribute downgrades and abnormal conditions. Enemy cure recovery minus 80% for 15 counts. Wow, okay. Cancel. That's a very standard unique or main ability, I think. See, wow, okay. They did change. Wow, they did change it. Regen, powerful opponent, or Busaka, base blast attack and defense 35%. That goes up from 28%. And you get 2 additional tags on that. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. This is the thing that I'm looking at. Zenkai ability. It's either going to be Regen, powerful opponent, or Busaka. I'm looking for Busaka. No. Purple Regen. Interesting. I mean, okay. That throws a wrench in things, doesn't it? We just go to regen. I'm looking at the website right now. I'm trying to find regeneration. There it is. What purple regen unit are you running, realistically? Metal Cooler, DKP, Ultra Zamos is the only one, but even now, he's still taking a lot of damage. And he essentially got replaced on most of his teams with Super Vegito. I mean, that's good, I guess, but then I don't know. Okay, sure. Bit odd. Oh, whatever. 260% damage guard plus 200%. Key recovery plus 70% and draw speed all when canceled. We can just compare this guy to who was the most recent 1% sparking? Gotenks, right? What does he get? 180% guard with the starter ability, but then after transforming, he gets an additional, I believe it was 40%? Yeah, 40% damage guard. Wait, no, that's after... No, he does get 40, but then he gets another 40 on top of that. So he goes up to... what is that? 260, right? 260? While he's transformed. But also keep in mind, Gotenks, for some reason, is on the Z tier boost. Which I find a little odd, considering he's a Zenkai unit, but... That's why he's being able to tank as well as he does right now, but I expect that after... I don't know if it's a bug or it was an oversight or whatever, but if they do take him off, then he's going to be taking a severe hit. That's like minus 70% damage guard or something? And then like 120% damage. After he gets off, he's going to be a little less viable, but 260% damage and 200% guard is a little low. I'm going to be looking for other ways to stack damage and guard throughout his kit. Battlefield entry. Draw a card, key 30. When on battlefield, an enemy switches. Vanishing Gauge plus 50%, damage plus 30% for 20 counts, and Key Recovery plus 30% for 20 counts. Okay, so there's some more damage that brings them up to 290, but then that's going to be pretty hard to get. Vanishing Gauge is actually infinite times, so I don't really know how often you're going to be getting that, considering I don't see any kind of cover null anywhere just yet. Key Recovery, he does have a lot of Key Recovery, that brings him up to 100%. On battlefield entry, all enemy damage received plus 30%. All enemy health restoration minus 50%. All enemy cure... What? I just realized what I'm looking at. On battlefield entry, one time, all enemy damage received plus 30%. All enemy health restoration minus 50%. All enemy key recovery minus 60%. All enemy strike and blast arts cost plus 10 for 70 counts. When on standby, an enemy activates arts 3 times. Activations reset on battlefield entry, subcount minus 1. Okay, so he essentially has a standard subcount of 7. That is one hefty disrupt. And I believe those count as attribute downgrades though, so that's pretty easy to get rid of. But the cost of plus 10, more damage, lower health rest, that's pretty strong. Let's see, when hit by enemy arts, you get 3% HP, damage 20% for 15 counts, enemy key minus 10. Oh, he has the key down effect like Corrupts or Ultras of Masu, except it's more potent with it being minus 10 instead of minus 5. If health is 50% or lower one time, you destroy a card, then draw a green card. Health plus 40%. Special move, ultimate damage plus 80%. Destroy an entire enemy hand. Enemy card draw speed minus 1 for 15 counts. Okay, that's... He has the 50% disrupt. But keep in mind, nowadays, a lot of these premium units have so many ways to get cards and key. Especially with recent units being Ultra Vegito and the Revival Gohan. You switch into Super Vegito, you automatically gain 2 cards. And he's getting key off of drawing those 2 cards. And then Gohan, he switches out, he grabs a card, and then when he uses a card, he gets another card. When he gets a full gauge, he gets another card. So him not reducing key is going to be a little annoying. Because the top enemy key minus 10 isn't going to be enough just to fully stop the combo. Extra blue card and ultimate damage is nice though. Last unique ability. On strike or blast arts hit, draw 1 card if hand has 3 or fewer twice. Resets on switch. 10 key, 20% damage for 10 counts. Cover null for 5 counts 1 time. Activations reset on switch. Okay. It was starting off pretty promising, but by the end, it kind of just looks eh. He gets cover null on landing a card, which is already bad in itself. And then, that's his only cover null chance, which doesn't synergize well with this top bit here, where he's getting Vanishing Gauge, when he's getting damage, where he's getting Key Recovery. How often are you going to be switching against a character that has cover null for 5 counts, where you don't just stop his combo? And then, on top of that, his Disrupt is good, but, again, it's not enough to fully stop. We saw the same issue with Super Baby's, or Zenkai Baby's, gauge. We saw the same issue with Super Saiyan 3 Mini Vegeta's gauge. It just wasn't enough, because it wasn't disrupting heavily enough, and you could just switch to other units and ignore it. Let's check out his damage. 206. He actually doesn't get more damage card. That's a little disappointing. Man. Okay, 260% damage, then he gets... I'm not gonna count that because that's so hard to get. Hit by enemy arts, I'm not gonna count that either. On hard hit, 20%. He's not really stacking that much damage either. He doesn't stack damage anywhere here either. I mean, there's the enemy damage received debuffs that he's giving opponents, but other than that, there's nothing really. He just seems like a pretty gimmicky unit, and I guess that's fine. But, I mean, I guess Regen gets another Zenkai bench? I guess. I don't know, I'm not really sure how I feel about this. It was starting off really good too, and then they just kind of loved it by the end, in my opinion. Okay, enough of that. We are going to go check out the equipment. The only one we should be getting is the Evoken equipment, because PvP doesn't reset, Space-Time Rush isn't resetting, Co-op isn't resetting, unless they decided to add something in early. There's the unique equipment. Let's just keep scrolling, make sure there's nothing else. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Over here, equip conditions. This is for Evoken, of course. One thing to note is this is going to be a very good character, or very, I wouldn't say bad, just mid, I guess. Because their whole design is that they combo a long time, and they just stack their gauge up, and they just keep comboing you. Two issues with that. First main one is we have gotten so many battle system changes and nerfs to comboing in itself. And the fact that, you know, it's really hard to combo anywhere past 50 hits until you're just actively putting yourself at a disadvantage because your sub counts don't lower, you don't get enough key, your card draw speed's severely nerfed, stuff like that. It's not really impactful to keep up a long combo, because after a certain point, there's no reason. You're putting yourself at a disadvantage. And that was the same issue that we had with Purple Evolution Vegeta's unique equipment, or just the character himself. He released after all of these combo nerfs, which really just contradicted his whole playstyle, which made him subpar compared to other units. So that's one thing to note. Another thing to note is that this guy could be meta-defining if they make him good enough. He is a green and reverse green. They are. And who are the best two of the best units? A purple and a blue. So they get countered by those units, but they also do in fact counter these units. There's a lot riding on this, but the fact that their team didn't really need more damage, they needed more defense. Because main thing you're going to be running on, they're ranged, first of all, is, hold on, just before I continue, let me just let's see how big their stat spread is. Like, how skewed their strike and blast darts are. Yeah, that's pretty significant. Not bad, but still significant. And their range, so, Sun Family and Saiyans are melee, but then Universe Rep is more ranged. But the issue is, Universe Reps is in need of a very tanky character. They have Ultra UI, whose main defense is relying on his gauge. And then we have the Hit and God Goku, who are very offensive. And then they have like minor disrupt. And then we have, well, if we just overlap it into full God Ki, the ROF Blue Bros, they are very, very offensive with their lock-in and their blue card generation and their card generation, but their defenses are not good at all. So both Godkey and Universe reps were in need of a very defensive equipment or defensive unit, and someone with a viable second life mechanic. So I'm not really sure if they're gonna have it in place, but we'll go ahead and check. Let me just pull up their character on the website because I want to see. I want to see what they're starting off with. They have 100% damage inflicted, and then they have 70% reduced damage received. Okay, good baseline. They are getting 20% HP, 80% base defenses, 160% damage card, 160% damage inflicted, 50% base offenses, 50% blue card damage. On Striker Blast Heart's use, you get 30% damage for 3 counts. Okay. On battlefield entry, the following effects occur. Unique gauge plus 30% one time. Draw 1 card if hand is 3 or fewer. All enemy subcounts plus 2. On cover change, enemy key minus 50. Okay, that is a lot of stats. That is a lot. Hold on. So, what can we compare? Who did this guy who came out recently with this guy that got a unique equipment? Orange Piccolo. We can take a look at him. I think that's the nearest one. And then Gammas, I guess. I think Gammas and then Orange Piccolo. I think Gammas are going to be a more closer resemblance because they are also a tag unit. And they have 80% damage. 80% damage inflicted, or 90% damage inflicted, and 70% reduced damage received, so they're pretty close in that regard. But Gamma's already had an equipment, and so did Orange Piccolo, but we'll go ahead and check. And that is the old equipment. Hold on. It is this one, yeah. Right. Gamma's got 100% guard, 60% damage, but they got 40% damage from their initial equip, so 100%. Okay, who else can we compare? Orange Piccolo, right? Orange Piccolo also had an equipment, but it was more so... Okay, let's see. Keep in mind, Orange Piccolo released before these guys. And then he gets 150% guard, 190% damage. Inflicted damage. And then 100% base damage. But he's not stacking damage. Orange Piccolo is getting more offenses, or defenses as well. Unique gauge plus 30% makes it easier to build them up. Remember, their only cover null condition is using a green card, and then they get a cover null for 10 counts. Let me just see. Yeah, the only cover null condition is their green card. I don't really know. Looking at their kit right now, they do have some promising abilities. They have, on tag switch, they have nullify attribute downgrades and abnormal conditions, which is pretty strong. Only when, going from Vegeta to Goku, though. I think, yeah. So... I'm not really sure. Not really sure. We're gonna have to test them out. I'll go into treasure battle because I do not trust top 50 PvP to be very lenient with this, but we'll see. It looks on paper good. They're stacking a lot of damage, but other than that, I'm not really sure. Unique gauge plus 30% on the first entry is going to be easier for them to stack up, because it took them a while to get their gauge rolling, because they have one of those step-up gauges like Evolution Blue Vegeta does. but on the first gauge, it took like 10 cards, 10 cards to get up. So that's gonna be a little annoying. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I believe that's it for new equipment and whatnot. So we'll go ahead and move over to data mines. Once again, shout out to Hydros for these. We have another God challenge. It's been quite a bit since we had our last God challenge. I think our last one was in 2025, like mid 2025, maybe during anniversary. But this time we're taking on the parties of finals competitors, and we know how the AI in this game mode works, so that's gonna be really annoying. We're gonna be seeing Gohan's, Orange Piccolo's. Oh boy. We have the Rush Battle for Super Boo. We have another raid, a Weekend Energy Charge raid, only available for 3 days. Aim for amazing rewards with Alex. Will we be able to just farm a bunch of energy from this? Maybe, we'll see. And then we have this one, enter a savior. Hercules saves the earth, collect event items, and upgrade your titles. Looks like we're gonna be able to upgrade titles that we already have, which is cool. But then this is more of a collector's thing now, more than a stat thing, because they got rid of the title boost, which I still don't understand why. I don't know what update needed that, but sure. We have card sleeves. We have a new PvP message. You're not protecting my ego. This is pretty funny. That's the new equipment. Having events. The get characters is coming. Oh, Path to Friendship is coming back too. That's pretty good. They recently, or not recently, just in the past like half year, they made it so that you can't grind friendship levels in story mode or any other mode besides Let's Fight. So this is gonna be really good. We have this one. This is a really easy Zenny farm. What else? Missions. Any missions? Double raid still here. We have the worldwide campaign going on. Yeah, same old. That seems to be it. Okay. Pretty decent week, I think. We got a few things going on, but yeah, let me know what you guys think about, the Zenkai, the new equipment, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.